why she was carrying it down. I never had that before.
Good evening.
You're not up.
Time now being shortly after 7, and I'm echoing badly. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you should mute yourself.
I am muted.
did it.
I am muted now. Okay, time being shortly after 7, this is the Littleton ZBA meeting, and we're coming to order. And the first item on the agenda is the minutes. So has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes?
Yes, I just have one comment. The election of officers, I think I moved that we accept rather than John.
Okay.
So-
Yes, I figured I was elected, I shouldn't,
You moved, okay. I'm sure Lucia just got that, but
Yeah.
I'll make a note of it anyways. Also, the minutes being approved from last time, for some reason, it says says all in favor, and then it says 3-0. It should have been 5-0.
yes.
All right, so that's, so
Get that?
with those corrections, can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I so moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Hopefully it works. Came out of the car.
Thank you for having it. Where am I doing this?
Well, you have to say all. in
Sewell,
favor.
not Sewell voted to reelect, it was Rodney, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're looking for John. John Fields is supposed to join us. And we don't have him yet. Let me see if I can call someone to, I don't have his phone number.
We didn't forget.
I don't have his phone number. Let me try making a quick call, though.
Pictures.
Can you send me John Fields' phone number? We are, for the record, we are shorthanded today. Our chair is unavailable to be here. She had surgery the other day and is recuperating nicely, but is unavailable to be here. And our fifth member is down in Florida and supposed to join us by Zoom, though he is on vacation. We're hoping that will happen in the next few minutes. We do have a case tonight starting at 6:10, but we don't seem to have the applicants unless they are thinking of zooming in. 7:10, I'm sorry. 7:10, unless they are thinking of zooming in also. But I don't see anyone else in a waiting room. Nope, I don't see anyone else in the waiting room. So I guess we're just going to be patient. Does anyone have any news?
Nope.
Any town news you'd like to share?
Not at all.
See, they tore down the Yangtze, so there must be doing some activity up there at 550.
They must be. We, Hi. We were beginning to wonder if we're going to see you folks.
We went to that door and then the front door.
All around? Well, welcome. The time being 7:10, we have a problem. I don't have a quorum here. We are supposed to, our chair is out sick, she had surgery and is trying to recuperate, and our other member is down in Florida on vacation, had agreed to Zoom in with us. He has yet to show up.
Okay.
And you are asking for a variance, so you must have 4 votes.
Okay.
And there are only 3 of us, so we don't have a quorum right at the moment.
Okay.
So if that,
So we're going to wait a few minutes and hope John shows up.
Okay.
if not, I
maybe
guess we'll have
hopes-
to continue to next month.
Otherwise, we'll have to continue to next month.
Okay.
Is that going to be a problem for you? Are you planning to start construction earlier than that?
No, wouldn't be a problem.
We could certainly discuss the case and any issues that we might have with it, but we just can't vote you a variance without at least 4 of us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're lacking alternates right at the moment, so,
And you have to be careful too. This has to be recorded because Fred and Sherry both have to hear it if they show up next month to vote.
well, it is being
If we
recorded.
have a
Recorded, yeah.
discussion on it.
Right.
Yeah, they can watch
But they're
the
here.
tape.
I'm inclined to indulge them in a discussion because it would give them a chance to hear what we're thinking and decide, it could actually work out in their favor. If
Okay.
you could hear what we're thinking and then have a chance to come back and go from there. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, for the record, could you introduce yourself,
Well, you have to
please?
open the hearing first.
Oh, I just did. I already
You
did.
You didn't read, you didn't.
We didn't
read
vote on
what
it.
is.
You don't vote on opening the hearing.
Yeah, you
No.
do.
No.
Oh,
No, you don't, but you have to
Vote
read
to close
the
it?
notice.
No, you don't vote on opening the hearing, and I thought I opened it, but I will open it officially. Before us is case number 25-973, 3 Snow Drive. The petitioner, Jesse Houle, seeks a variance pursuant to 173-10A and a special permit due to 173-10A4 for the reconstruction of a garage and any other business as may properly come before the board. We're open officially. So you're welcome to pull a chair up,
Okay.
and I'm going to leave this up to you. We can't vote you even if we want to vote you. I was going to tell you from the beginning that you have to have all 4 votes, and if you wanted to come back later, if you thought that you wouldn't get all 4 votes, you were welcome to, delay it. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to come back, whatever you think makes the most sense.
Let's go over.
as long as you agree to a continuance. But let's go over a few things.
Okay.
Why don't you, we always start with, because we may get our other member popping in which case this would be over for you. Why don't you start and tell us what you're doing?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Jesse Houle. Nice to meet you all. There's an existing garage on my property. It's approximately 20 by 20 feet, and it's an older garage, decades old, kind of rotting, falling apart at this point. Looking to tear that down and replace it with a new, larger garage. The existing garage being 20 feet, it's pretty difficult for me and my wife to both get our cars in there, even to get my son in the car seat. We gotta pull one car out. 20 feet's just not wide enough, so we wanna make the new garage wider. And the existing garage is a non-conforming structure already. It's pretty close to the existing property line, being around 7 to 9 feet from the existing property line. So we would be moving closer to that. And we can't really move the other direction to make it wider because then it would be located like behind my house, if you look at the plot plan. So that's really the kind of what makes more sense to widen it in that direction. And I've spoken to my neighbors on that side of the property that would be affected, the Leahy's and Mark and Anthony. Mark is actually right there.
I recognize Mark.
And we've actually spoken about it, so they're well aware of the project and of the garage, and it didn't express any objections to me. And my other neighbor on the other side knows, but is not really affected. So happy to answer any questions or provide any further information.
I'm supposed to have you gentlemen introduce yourselves. Could you please, just for the record, we're supposed to keep a record of who's in the room.
Of course. So, hi, I'm Mark Brown. I'm the neighbor in this instance. As Jesse said, definitely in support of the new construction of the zoning boards. And we did have a discussion just making sure that, there's, be mindful of just sort of the water runoff that we have. We are right up against sort of like a wetland area, so we both collected quite a bit of water both on our backyard. So our main concern is just with water and making sure that there's some sort of system, and I did discuss with him that they have sort of a plan for that. So that's great, and that's really our only sort of question I had for him. So, yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah, I didn't mention that actually. We're planning on raising the grade of the garage a couple of feet, because right now water actually goes down my driveway and into the garage, and right now there's a nice little ice rink in my garage. So hoping to, get the water to flow out to the street, properly.
Part of being on this board is going and driving by your property and seeing what we're talking about. Sir, could you introduce yourself?
My name is Jim Brown. I'm Anthony Brown's dad, and I just came here because Anthony wasn't able to make it, so Mark had some company.
Lovely. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us? Present to us.
I think that's, covers it, but happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the board?
Yeah, the 26 feet to me sounds pretty wide with only a 3.5-foot setback. We had to build a garage a few years ago, and it was 24 by 28, and it's plenty wide enough. We can open the doors fully inside the garage and everything. So maybe you should consider going to 24 feet instead of 26. Then that raised the setback from 3.5 to 5.5 feet.
So
Make it a little easier.
here's my problem with this. We do 3.5 feet. We have allowed 3.5 feet before, but that is under circumstances that it seemed dire, because 3 feet is just enough to get a lawnmower through and tend your yard. You're only 2.5 feet with your roof offset.
No,
according
it's
to the
3.5 feet from,
3.5.
oh yeah, 2.5 from the roof offset. Right.
from the roof offset. We've allowed 3.5 feet from the roof offset. We've never done 2.5 feet to my knowledge.
Okay.
So it's just too close. You can't, the fears and worries are concerning maintenance. You need to be able to paint your building, you need to be able to replace your roof, you need to be able to tend your yard on that side. With a 2.5-foot overset, I don't think you can replace your roof without going on your neighbor's property. And that may not be an issue with these property owners, but someday they're not going to be there. There'll be someone else there. So 2.5 feet is just too close for my comfort and for a variance. There's things, there's needs and there's wants. Please understand, I'm fully on your side about wanting a big garage and wanting to have plenty of room and be able to open your car doors enough inside to get your child in and out. Fully cognizant of that. But 2.5 feet is just frightfully close and worrisome, and we've never allowed that before. So an alternative might be to go down to 24 feet or to try to shift
The house over another foot.
shift the garage over a foot or two.
Okay.
If you can. It looks like, I didn't walk on your property. I stood down the bottom of your driveway and stared up at it.
Yeah.
It looks like you could shift it over a couple of feet. I go down, if you want 26 feet, fine, but not that close. That's a want, not a need. I mean, we've gone back, we've had many arguments in this board about wants versus needs concerning garages. There have been past members who are adamant that garages in New England are a need, not a want, and members who think that they're a want, not a need. And size always comes into play. And a variance is a serious ask. It's not a special permit, it's a serious ask. You're asking us to go against zoning bylaws. And we're not supposed to do that lightly. We're supposed to have real reason that we have to go to amend them as closely as we are, based on size, topography, those kind of things. And looking to me, it does look like you could probably shift a little to the, looking up from your driveway, a little to the left.
There's, if you look at the plot plan, there's kind of like a rock wall that runs and steps. So like, even with the current, easterly side of it, it is difficult to pull my car into that side of the garage as it is. So that's why I was hesitant to move it more towards the house at all, and kind of kept that corner the same, and then ended up shifting it to run along the property lines.
So when you raise the house, the driveway and the building slab's height,
Yep.
it'll probably be about the same height, or maybe even a little higher than your existing patio back there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal, to kind of have it
So
around that
you,
height.
right, it won't be quite such a big issue because you won't have a step anymore. You this driveway was
Yeah,
flushed
yeah.
into it. I actually walked down to the end of the driveway and looked in your garage.
Did you trespass?
We're allowed
I've
to
been
tr-
known to trespass.
We're allowed to trespass because he has asked us to review this.
I've been
and
known
therefore
to.
we have a right to go actually see it. How close is your neighbor's shed to your property line?
Pretty
It looked like
close.
it was right on top of it.
Well, it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I looked at it.
It might be a
I didn't go and
temporary-
measure it,
It may
but,
be a temporary structure, though.
didn't look temporary to me. The other.
It's not in front
So
of us,
so
though.
that's one thing. I think you probably could move it over a foot or two without too much trouble. And the patio looked like it needed rebuilding
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, the patio definitely needs to be rebuilt.
The other question I have, and it's, it's not for us to say yes or no, but the Board of Health will be really interested in seeing a toilet and sink on the second floor of an of a new building. And they may, probably have to get a permit from them to allow you to do that, because they may look at that and say, oh, that's a new bedroom.
Right.
And, now it's got water and a toilet.
And it's a potential bedroom, too.
That's what I said. They'll look at it and say it's a new bedroom.
Yeah, but that's the Board of Health's concern.
I
not
understand. I
ours.
just bring this to your attention that, they may have an issue with the whole thing.
That's the Board.
I don't
of-
know the size of your septic system, how many bedrooms you have, and all the rest of the stuff that all goes in.
That's the,
But you have to go see them and talk them into letting you do it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay on that side of things.
so think of, maybe this is a boon to you, have a chance to think about moving it or reducing it, or how you want to handle it. Because 2.5 feet from a roof line just isn't something we've ever allowed.
So you said that you previously allowed 3.5, so like.
We
you
have
shift
allowed
the structure
3.5.
A foot.
Over a foot?
Yeah, but
That-
But that's still very high.
3.5 has been when there's just nowhere else. There's no way to nothing else to do. If there was nothing else to do, I'd be telling, if there's nowhere you could possibly move this at all, I'd be saying, sorry, you have to go down to 24 feet, or we can't approve it.
But if you can check out neighbor's garage, is one that might be 24 feet, you can pick up 2 feet there and move it a foot or two. You can pick up 3 or 4 feet and come close to what the present setback is.
But
Another
we don't, yeah.
thing to look at is moving the garage further back away from the street. So it
Yeah.
have to be in the same
And
footprint.
they're repaving.
Well, they're gonna do that
Like a
anyway.
wetland buffer too.
They
Oh.
they gotta
Oh,
stay
yeah.
out of the.
Is that what that
wetland.
dashed lane is? Is it just
Yeah.
not marked?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
No.
not
Oh, yeah, so
fussing
you
about
can't go
depth, and
back.
I'm not fussing about moving it back. 2.5 feet is just not something we've ever allowed. We're not picking on you, we've just never allowed it. And 3.5
Yeah,
feet,
yeah.
quite frankly, is something we only allow when there's compelling reason that it has to be that small. And having a 26-foot wide garage is not compelling. Does that make sense? 24-foot should be wide enough to do what you want to do, I would think.
Yeah,
It's a
I mean-
normal garage.
I think, they say with the garage, no one ever regretted building a bigger garage, right?
I know. I understand. I want to say yes to you. I really do. But 2.5 feet is just too small. It just, you can't replace your roof. You can't, without going on other people's property. Leahy's are very lovely people. They're not going to give you a hard time, but you don't know who they're going to sell to someday.
Yeah.
And Mark and Anthony are darling, lovely people, but again, you don't know who your neighbor's going to be someday.
Yeah.
You might have someone put a big chain link fence there.
And it was mentioned that you were going to do something with the drainage. I wonder if we should see that on the plan.
The
Some
drainage?
yeah, he mentioned.
Did you get an
that you were gonna
engineering
do
plan
some
Oh, I
done?
was
drainage mitigation.
explaining my current drainage system, which just goes out into the backyard.
You haven't engineered one, have you?
I have PVC pipes that run my.
No, but you haven't had an official engineering stuff done?
No.
Okay, we're not going to make you do one.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Those are thousands of dollars. As long as Anthony and Mark and Mike and the Leahys are satisfied with what you're doing, we're going to take their word for it.
Okay.
And Mike Leahy, I talked to him today, he told me he's very pleased that you're able to do what you want to do, and in full support of you.
Okay.
He had nice things to say.
That's nice, yeah. He's well aware of the project. Very nice, great neighbors.
And it's nice to have you here in support.
Okay, so understand the concerns. I guess if, even if we made it 25 feet and shifted over, we're able to do, say, like 2 feet, reducing the setback, would that be, and I'm just,
So
potential-
you got to say 4.5 feet?
No, he says he's gonna shrink the building by a foot and move the building a foot, effectively
That gives-
adding
that-
2 feet.
That gives,
Additional 2 feet to the setback.
I can live with that. Can you live with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I can live with that.
Okay, I mean,
Can
I'd
you
have
live
to
with
talk to
that?
my
Yeah, that gives us 4.5 feet.
And I know John will
my
live with that.
contractor and everything, but.
Talk to your contractor and come back next month. We have your permission to officially delay this a month. I'm not sure what we'd do if we don't have your permission. I think, we just can't vote it. I'm sorry.
And 24 feet is ample room for 9-foot doors, too.
Yeah,
And you
Well,
really
they-
need a 9-foot door, you don't want an 8-foot door.
yeah. So it sounds like with like a 4-foot or larger setback, like is that, I guess, what's the level where you?
Well, if you give us 2 more feet, that would give you 4.5 feet to the roof line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I can handle that, and 5.5 feet to the property line for the foundation.
okay.
That should give you plenty of room to maintain the building.
Okay, so then it's just a question of shrinking the dimensions to 24 feet or moving the whole thing over 2 feet, whatever.
And you know what, you have time to, I think this is actually working out for you. Usually people have to make these decisions right away in
Yeah.
order to get our approval, and you have time to think about it and talk to your wife and talk to your contractor
And update this plan.
and figure out how to do this.
Okay. All right.
It's nice that you have good neighbors.
Yeah, great neighbors. The one on the other side's great too, but he knows as well. Yeah,
All right,
very lucky.
all right.
Okay.
So we are continued this, I need a motion to continue the hearing.
What's the date?
Uh,
Oh, this is February, this is 19?
So,
Okay, I move we continue the hearing to March 19th at 7:10.
at 7:10.
How about March
Does that work for
20th?
you?
March 20th?
March
isn't it?
20th, you
Well,
mentioned
this
the
is
date.
February, oh, this is 20th, not 19th. Yeah, March 20th.
I have a
Is
calendar.
that Thursday?
It's a Thursday,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
We always meet on the third Thursday of the month.
Okay.
okay,
March 20th?
March 20th.
You need to ask for a second and vote
I do.
Second.
on. Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're continued,
All right.
and we look forward to seeing you again with a full board
All right.
and able to vote appropriately for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your
Don, Carol, Rod?
your understanding and patience with us.
Yes, of course. Thanks for hearing my case.
All right.
And depending on, whether they can listen to the video or not, and it is usually on demand, we may have to repeat
always on
some of
demand.
this stuff to
Oh,
bring them up
we're
to
gonna
speed.
you're gonna have to go through the whole spiel again.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine. It's easy enough. Yeah. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
You moved. Okay, I'll second that. He slightly beat me to it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Flip the switch.
Flip the switch. Flip phones.
Have a nice evening.
You too.